There we go. Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Bells and whistles included. This is the
or lack of.
yeah. This is the training wheels period of trying a new streaming service.
This is TNI naked.
It is. This is So we got a countdown, and hey, we're here. We're here to talk some TNA. So we got Front Row Bill and Alisha joining us tonight. We got the full crew. What's up? How you guys doing tonight?
Just super. Thanks for asking.
Happy Thursday to everybody.
Thursday.
J-Bone looked like he's taking big swigs out of his drinking device.
Oh, I need it tonight. No. Straight water, folks. Straight water. So yeah. It's it's still us. And you're not going to have everything you're accustomed to, but it's still us, and it's we're working on everything, learning everything, and just hey, welcome to the show. What can I say?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Exactly.
For the most part, you won't notice any difference.
But in the meantime, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. That part always stays the same. So, I have not uploaded the news jingle.
Oh, no jingle for J-Bone tonight. Jingleless J-Bone.
I can add it, but it's going to take a second. So I'm going to leave it up to you.
Well, we're naked tonight, J-Bone.
Okay.
It's naked TNI, man, and it ain't after dark. So we're just going as is. Get your manscape ready because it's J-Bone's news a cappella tonight. It's J-Bone's news.
Dear God.
I can't look at your face.
It's J-Bone's wrestling news, but real on TNI. J-Bone, give us some news.
Oh man. Well, let's look at the TNA Wrestling.com.
Better got some news after all that work I just did, J-Bone.
Yeah, I know. Well, we do. What's wrong with these guys? We have exclusive post-match. Oh, we can't show that.
The news you can use.
The news you can.
Do we have any news we can use? What's going on here?
I do. It's just I've been so busy with bells and whistles trying to figure all that shit out, and then it's like, oh yeah, part of the podcast where we talk about news. All right, so what we have here
is some stuff and things.
Yes. So here, this is one thing I did want to talk about as far as dates and such. Mm-hmm. Bonus baby, greatest podcast. I don't care who you are. I love you. All right. So we do still have the old share screen of Rooney. So we're going to.
There we go.
How about that? How about that, folks?
Throwing the Bone Man a lifeline, the share screen of Rooney.
There we go. So if you look at this, I don't know how well you can see this. I actually downloaded the picture, but I'm not going to try to do all that. So if you see here, we've got November, we got December, and then January. So as far as your dates and such, This is when you can watch your Impact Wrestling on television, your Explosion when that comes out.
Yeah, and this is mainly for TNA Plus, because that's like when it's Explosion's available on TNA Plus, correct, J-Bone?
Right. Immersed is going to be a special on Jordan versus Masha. That's coming out on the 25th. Turning Point next Friday, I believe. Yeah, next Friday.
From WrestleCade, South
Good old
Carolina.
Good old WrestleCade. Bill, I'm assuming you got your tickets.
I will not be at WrestleCade.
What?
I did WrestleCade a couple years ago when they did, because I had committed during the pandemic to go to WrestleCade. And I'm like, let me try it out. I've been hearing about it for years. So then I did it post, like, because I had tickets, then it got postponed a year. So then I did it the next year, and it was good. I enjoyed it. But I'm not a big convention guy.
Oh.
Like, I like the shows. I was there for the shows, and luckily TNA got announced and was there, and they did an IPWF show from there. But after that was like a one and done. Like, you gotta want to do convention stuff to really make that worthwhile.
Nope.
Wow.
Definitely not for me.
And like, I could do a convention for like one day, like a couple hours, but then I'm like, okay, I'm done. So then the rest of the days, it's like, unless there's a show going on, not a lot of things. Like, just keep walking around and seeing the same stuff and not doing the same meet and greets. But hey, people are all into that. It's a huge thing. There's tons of conventions out there. So the more the merrier.
Hey, that's that's okay. I mean, I think we'll be okay not seeing you in the front row for one show. I mean,
well, for that you had to be committed to WrestleCade way before TNA said they were being part of it. So, but I know you'll still see. I know some regulars that were planning to be there anyway. So you will see some familiar faces. But I never say never, because things can evolve as we get closer to a date. But to go all the way down there for just like a show or like maybe a night or two, probably not.
Well, and it's also going to be the holidays,
and that's the other thing. It's always over the holidays. That's their thing. But obviously I did that previously. So that's another reason why I may have thought it like, that's a one and done, because you're kind of burning, because you're kind of leaving like Thanksgiving. You're letting the stuff in, you loosen the belt, you let the turkey settle in, and then it's like, get up early in the morning and take a long car ride. So I've done it, but that ain't something you want to do all the time.
That's not easy. And then 2 weeks after that, we see here we got Final Resolution, and then several more episodes going into the first part of the year. Still planning on having Impact and Explosion, so they're going to be taping stuff. Not sure exactly when, but Genesis is the 19th, and then Impact Live is the Thursday after that. That's going to be on the 23rd. Very exciting. First live, what'd they say? First live Impact in 7-8 years, something like that. So yeah, very exciting.
I like it.
This might be the chat of the night. Moose farts after Thanksgiving must be brutal. It's
people getting all their Thanksgiving ready because J-Bone. Well, that might be some housekeeping we got to do right now.
Oh,
because next Thursday is Thanksgiving. But it looks like the show is not your typical show. So we'll see, because maybe instead of the show, because it will be more of a best of and things like that, maybe we'll just recap that with a review of the TNA special the next night, if that works. But we'll
I
put it in the
I think my
the big
family's going to
tank.
be. I think my family's going to be doing Thanksgiving Friday night.
Oh, look at Jabo.
So if I'm actually going to be free on Thursday.
There you go.
So, because we're trying to have, well, that's what you try to do when you have split families. You try to like, okay, you're going to do this on Thanksgiving. We're going to do it the next night. So
there you go.
That's just how it's going. So, we'll see
as we get closer.
Jay's cooking the mac and cheese. I make a mean baked mac and cheese. Let me tell you, honey. Remember that time I made that baked mac and cheese?
That time, singular.
That one time.
That one time.
It was like the best. It was so good. It was
Would
like
you make pasta and throw cheese on it?
I couldn't ever make it again. No, I did like a big thing of mac and cheese, threw the breadcrumbs on top, and then threw it back in the oven.
I'll say this, J-Bone. I'm going to give you a hot take, a hot mac and cheese take. Breadcrumbs should never touch mac and cheese.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, even baked mac and cheese.
That's fucking audacious.
You can avoid it. You can avoid it. You can make it up with other things. Not.
I'm old school.
I'm speechless. What?
I'm old school. So I mean, you know, I don't know what. Okay.
Oh, that's the old school baked mac and cheese way. But I'm saying. You don't
look.
Need them. You get away without them.
Alisha looks like she's ready to have a stroke or fall over or something. What'd you
I told you it was a hot take.
Jiminy Christmas.
That is a hot potato, man. Wow.
So okay. So what do you, Bill? I mean, no, and I'm not knocking you. It's fine. I'm up to trying. Look, I love food. I'll eat anything. I'll try anything once. What do you throw on your baked mac and cheese, Bill?
Wow, you want it to be like creamy, J-Bone, and obviously you get the inside creamy regardless. But when you throw those breadcrumbs, or I call them pebbles of death, on top of a mac and cheese, it's just drying that top out like there's no tomorrow.
No, whoever made that mac and cheese overbaked it. Get out of it. Use the wrong kind of cheese. I refuse.
And I think that's the risk. I think a lot of people do overbake it, so you avoid that.
I'm livid.
I think I threw mine in for like 10 minutes just to like, you know.
You just go simple, man. You go with your pasta of choice, elbow macaroni. I'll allow a few others, but elbow's the way.
Fair enough.
You get your shredded cheese. You can have a mix. A nice mix of cheeses is good. You get your milk, your butter. Gotta have butter. I have a good amount of butter. I'll make up for that instead of the breadcrumbs. And it's simple. Simple. You don't gotta go crazy with mac and cheese. Like I said, the breadcrumbs. Like, yeah, I feel like having like wood chips in my food. Like, why not?
So you just put all that together and throw it in. You don't put anything on top?
Well, you put some. Well, this is what you do, J-Bone. You're cooking it, right? You're cooking it. You throw some more cheese near the end, and you let that bake on top as a little bit of a crust.
All right.
Instead of it. So, but not the whole time, because it would just lava into everything. So, but you put on the end, and you can sprinkle some cheese on the top. Oh, you're golden.
Would you be opposed to crisped onions? You know what I'm talking about? Those French's.
You get, but not everybody likes onions. I like onions, so I'd be fine with that.
But it's the French's onions.
Something like
that's
that.
different. Okay.
I love French's
you know what? All right. I'll allow it.
Well, and you know what? Our good friend Critical Sting in the chat with the "Do not draw my ire" as a Southerner with a dish like mac and cheese. Critical Sting, I want to know your opinion as a Southerner. I feel like I'm seeing that more in the South is the lack of breadcrumbs these days. I think that's coming out of the South, this philosophy on breadcrumbs. And I'm taking the Southern tip of not doing it. Because I think it was like a waste.
This is very interesting. Bonus Baby my cousin makes a killer baked mac and cheese with shrimp. So just like shrimp, I'm assuming you don't put raw shrimp in the mac and cheese and then bake it. I'm assuming it's like little bite-sized ones already mixed in there, and then you just bake it for a short amount of time because you don't want them you don't want to wreck your shrimp and make them too chewy.
You say Critical Sting. He's saying he didn't say none, but he says don't do a lot. I think that's the risk of the breadcrumbs. You go too heavy. You just like unload them, like, oh, here's all the breadcrumbs. Yeah, and I agree. I think the seafood mac, I haven't done a seafood mac and cheese, but you know what? I've probably eaten one now. Maybe at a restaurant at some point. I feel like that's something I've eaten. But you can do anything with mac and cheese. It's like a grilled cheese. You can mix cheese in anything.
J-Bone has a seat inside of an oven. Bro, I made fish tonight. What are you talking about?
Oh, Dr. Gerb's with the hot takes. Well, no, he's not with the hot takes. He's with the hot take with the pineapple. Most people don't like pineapple on pizza. But that I'll okay occasionally. Pretty good sized shrimp in there from Bonus Baby. Oh, you know why I haven't had shrimp? You know what? I don't think I have
like a medium
had shrimp mac and cheese. I've had lobster mac and cheese.
Oh,
and that's very good.
Mac.
That's very good. But you can put cheese in anything is good, J-Bone. It's like cheese and TNI. It looks like you have a cheese headband on today. A cheese bone Dani.
It's looking quite cheesy.
It looks very Kraft mac and cheese. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kraft mac and cheese is fantastic. Never knocked the Kraft. Although, obviously, a baked one is better. But like in it, like if you're in a pinch, just like stovetop stuffing, still good. It will suffice.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some stovetop stuffing. I
tell
my wife,
throw in bacon bits instead of breadcrumbs. That's right. Always go bacon.
There we go.
Is this a cooking show? All right, guys.
It might as well be. It feels like TNA should have cooking shows.
It's like pre-gaming for Thanksgiving.
I
can't wait.
We're mixing the ingredients of the
TNI has now turned into total nonstop indigestion.
Well, we've had a lot of food talk on this show.
Well, I mean, food, wrestling, it goes hand in hand.
Speaking of,
this is true.
Obviously, most people know I'm out of the Philadelphia area, and I was down in the city today visiting a customer with work. So got out around lunchtime. Wasn't too far from the old 2300 Arena, my home away from home. So, but what's right around the corner from the 2300 Arena? John's Roast Pork. So I made sure to grab myself a cheesesteak sandwich, and it was, once again, chef's kiss. Fantastic.
The best. That your go-to?
It's a 2-horse race. What's that?
That's your go-to?
When it's open. It's not always open because they run out of everything by like 4:00. So it's limited in when you can go. But when you can go there, it's pretty good. Yeah, like that, and like the newer kid on the block, Angelo's, which if you watch food reviews and all, is very popular, and it's very good as well. And they use the Cooper Sharp, which is like a very popular cheese in the area, and it's fantastic as well. But what you taste more is that cheese. But both of them depends what you like roll, meat. They're both excellent. I still give John's. That's my preferred favorite, but it's close.
Okay. So. All right.
But that was your pre-Thanksgiving food with TNI talk.
Because it went from when are we going to be live to what are we having? So now here's another little just quick throwing some different bells and whistles to get your opinion on, and for my own cast and crew here. Because
I know nothing.
Because we show the chat like this, or
Very
there's
nice.
also this.
I know that's very big with the Twitch crowd and all that.
So and that kind of keeps like everyone involved. Like
it does.
YouTube sees
that
Twitch,
may not
Twitch
be a bad
sees YouTube.
portion of the show going forward. I wouldn't do it for the whole show, but that might not be a bad at times. Maybe bring that in.
For example, I think, if we go to now it's time for our Q&A.
Now that's perfect, J-Bone. There you go. See? Now got the thinking macaroni cap on right now.
There you go.
I didn't see like a big noodle. That's using your noodle, Mr. Noodle.
As a Green Bay Packer guy, J-Bone, I don't know if you saw this. This was like a month ago. But because obviously they have the hats with the big cheese block on it, the cheese heads. Somebody, I think it was a Lions fan that was either Green Bay in Detroit, I assume, had a cheese grater hat. And I think that was just that. Even if you're a Green Bay fan, you got the guy an applause for wearing a cheese grater hat.
Now, is that saying
with
like
a wrestling connection? Makes me think of Tommy Dreamer.
That makes me think he's like anti-cheese, like a Bears fan would wear the cheese grater.
Oh yeah,
hat.
I think it was a Lions fan. So that's what it was. But it was that. Kudos to that guy. Creativity, J-Bone.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Absolutely. I mean, I'll root for anyone.
That's like wearing a Dad from Spy Kids hat at a TNA show for Frankie Kazarian.
Serotonin. All right. Well, let's see here. There is there's updates to Turning Point. I don't know if you want to just discuss that like at the end of the show, tail end of the review kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. In Hotlanta at Center Stage, Friday and Saturday, December 13th and December 14th, Final Resolution weekend. TNA Wrestling annual holiday toy drive and food drive helps needy people in Atlanta. Okay. And that article, you can go to the news section and go look up that, get all the details and that for if you're planning on attending the show. I think that's wonderful.
That's great. And they used to do that from time to time a lot. So now I know. Got to put that on my list.
There we go.
Once I fly down, I got to go grab some stuff, some canned goods.
Yes. We got the new photo gallery up already for tonight's show. That's great to see. Tickets are now on sale.
Shout out Basil.
Yeah, Basil's doing a tremendous job. In fact, the cover, I've been using a couple pics to like that 4 covers lately just to change it up, so we got a nice picture of the Hardys from, I believe it's last week. But now tickets are on sale for Genesis in Dallas and Impact Live in San Antonio this January. So get your tickets. That's going to be a wild couple days. Cannot wait.
Sweet.
And it looks like Zaya Brookside recently took on Maggie Moore. Great. Another good showing for Maggie Moore on TNA.
Yeah, I keep your eye. It feels like obviously they're going through the feeling out testing process on Maggie Moore. She's made multiple loops now. It feels like that's something where like she's an impending signing addition to the Knockouts division, which we've talked about here. Obviously, we've gone pretty long-winded that there is some addition needed, obviously, with some people that have already been written out, as well as we know some impending changes probably coming to the division over the next handful of months.
Right. And that's, you know, people go, oh, now we're going to lose this person and that person. It's like,
it never matters, J-Bone. We wish you luck. Good luck.
Wrestling
Thank you
always evolves. It always evolves. People move on, and we got to just wish
there's
them
always
well.
somebody that will step up.
Right. And there's plenty of women still on the roster that have opportunities in the future. I want to ask Alisha about, because I know you missed a few shows.
Yes.
From time to time. What have you seen Maggie Moore, and what do you think of her? I
have not, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can. So you can.
For the
watch
most part, you've had to
Explosion.
watch Explosion. For the most part, you've had to watch Explosion.
I haven't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm just letting you know, and anyone else out there, you can watch Explosion. It comes out on a certain day on TNA Plus, comes out a few days later on YouTube. So still there. It's still accessible to anyone. The people on TNA Plus just get a bit of advantage. That's all. So didn't she get killed by Savannah Evans tonight? No, that was someone else. We'll get to that. Anything from your neck of the woods, Bill, that you've seen that you want to talk about news-wise before we jump into tonight's show?
Nothing. Like, obviously, if you take a look on the TNA merch page, a lot of new shirts and stuff, some new gear, new Jeff Hardy shirt, like a creature shirt on the Lincoln Memorial, but it's him. So that's a pretty cool shirt. Cardona has a shirt, which is interesting because he hasn't had a shirt obviously since he first showed up for the most part. So that's good to see. Obviously, there's a lot of with AEW in the area up in North Jersey. With their pay-per-view this weekend. There's a bunch of shows. I was actually at AEW in Reading last night. But there's a lot of like Arrival. The show Arrival 3 has Moose and Masha. So some TNA talents will be in this area on some indie shows that are kind of around it. Yeah, see, I have that Hardy shirt, the new Hardy shirt. But now there's a whole Hardy's collection. Got a couple shirts.
That is a great shirt. Yeah. And then this is the one Jeff Hardy we're talking about. We the Creatures.
If they have that at a live event, like if they have that in Atlanta, I'm sure I will be grabbing that shirt as well.
And there's Matt Cardona, Bulletproof Macklin, great shirt. Interesting because, I mean, it was something else we're going to get into later as far as storyline-wise, but his current path is very interesting. Another Hardy shirt here, down here, the one you saw, Bill, knockout shirt representing the division, and some others that we've talked about before that maybe you haven't seen, but great stuff. The ABC shirt, proceeds go to Chris Bay.
I love that.
So yeah, and for those of you that still that maybe you joined in the show and you haven't seen us talk about it in a while, Chris Bay's GoFundMe still in the description of the video down below. You can donate or share, multiple ways to go help them.
Definitely. And I know from seeing some comments in the chat, obviously a lot of people, we talked about it last week, but a lot of people I know are talking about the Mike Bailey situation still. That's a hot topic. It seems, what we can confirm is he's finished up with TNA. I know all the early rumblings was his contract ran through the end of the year. Then there was some fake news reporting that he was out of his contract and he'd be showing up in AEW for that tournament that starts, I think, next week. But I think then it was then later changed to pretty much he's not going to work anymore, like no angles or anything, obviously, with TNA. But technically his contract is still through the end of the year. So you probably won't see him show up in AEW till the beginning of next year.
Okay.
So, and also I see a comment there about gut check. And you know me, I'm a gut check guy. Love gut check. That Gail, I guess, may have been interviewed talking about Harley Hudson from the UK, who was one of the winners making an appearance soon. So I know people have been kind of like, well, maybe that wouldn't happen because of she was going to be training at the Can-Am Dojo, which is obviously Scott D'Amore's school. So did this fall through? Was she still going to come over? And it sounds like she will. So that's good.
Okay. So, yeah, that's about it for news as far as I know. And we'll talk about updates for Turning Point at the end of the show, just to run down the updated card. Just make sure we got everything updated, because sometimes it takes a while to go just put that out there from the brain. So, yeah, here's another like show that just felt like it flew. It really did. Like I got like barely one page of notes. You know,
it could be another quick one.
Yeah.
Last week was a quick one. Well, it seemed like it was going to be a quick one. Then maybe it wasn't. But tonight it will be a quick.
Yeah. So we're starting out here with the Knockouts Championship on the line, or some call it who is going to face Jordan Grace at Turning Point. You know, who's
that was the stipulation.
Yeah. So the Systems Lish versus Masha. A lot of fun.
But hey, there was a stipulation in this match, J-Bone.
Oh, it was no DQ.
No DQ.
Excuse me.
Right.
Yeah. Which means anything
That's
goes.
a big step.
Yeah. Which means if you want to throw a moose in the mix, hey, you can throw a moose in the mix.
Hey. Now did you just come up with a great idea, J-Bone? I think you did. I heard moose mix. I'm thinking cereal, J-Bone. The Moose X Division cereal. Moose mix.
Do you add milk first or no?
Have breakfast like a wrestling god and have moose mix. Sponsored by TNI.
There are, milk first people out there. And I think
you can even have moose mix dry.
I think they associate with flat earthers too, but that's another story. We'll have to
I
talk.
There's some before we get too far into the show. I know there's some news tidbits from some former TNA members, or one that's still on the roster page, which is an interesting thing we should probably mention real quick. It's that Mustafa Ali has started a wrestling school in the Chicago area. So we wish him luck. But he is still on the roster page, J-Bone. And in a little interesting tidbit, he's been on the roster page the whole time since he left. They've updated his picture. Interesting thing for a guy that, unless he might come back. So keep that in mind. I know we've been saying it the last couple of weeks. We think Ali might be coming back. And I think that just adds some fuel to the fire about Ali coming back. Obviously,
I had a feeling you were talking about
Mike Bailey not here anymore. It would be very natural to see Ali then make a return, which would be very cool.
Is that?
That's a different picture than was there like 2 weeks ago. I think it changed about a week ago.
I don't feel like the picture itself is new, but as far as new,
they updated on the website for whatever reason.
On the website, it's a new one.
Okay, it's like he didn't come in and pose for like a new promo pic. They just selected a new one to use for him for whatever reason.
Yeah, like some people on here legit have new ones. Like I think the Good Hands have new ones on here. Possibly System, of course they do with the red, white, and blue. It looks fantastic. The Rascals do. Brookside. So yeah, there's a lot of new fresh
so
faces.
there's that, and then on one other piece of news from another someone we were a big fan of, Kylie Ray. I know a lot of people are talking about Kylie Ray because, and I know she was advertised for a show that they said someone was going to be WWE ID'd, the new thing they're doing on the indies, and she was WWE ID'd. So congrats to her. That'll be an interesting one to see if that does, because obviously she was in NXT, right? That's she I forget her name there, but she was in NXT briefly. So it'll be interesting to see if that is the route she decides to go again. But wishing her luck.
That is, yeah. And I didn't want to poo-poo our audience by any means, but I know sometimes our audience, puts stuff out there that's, shooting.
Well, I did have seen that. So, but like I said, these are more of the not direct TNA connections, but hey, we give the people what they want, J-Bone. This is the TNI show.
This is true. This is true.
Scumbags are welcome here.
I mean,
when
always. But yeah, very excited to see what happens to her future. Still hope, all is well with her, and
yeah. And it was very fitting to bring her up during this Knockouts opener.
Right. Former knockout. But yeah, so Masha gets the win here. What did you guys think of the match?
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I for what it was, I thought it was a decent match because obviously we knew Lish to get this shot. She probably was not. I think when Jordan even did her promo last week, then she kind of like, well, we all know who's going to win. So I think no one really gave Lish much of a shot in this.
Yeah.
But I like to see. We're big fans of Lish here on the podcast. So to see her just get the spot to do something here, I enjoyed that because she's definitely worked a ton to earn that. But obviously Masha's going to win, and the no DQ and stuff. But then you get Tasha involved here, and then obviously Jordan. So they're telling the story. They're setting up the turning point match, and that's what we get here. So I think it, for what it was, it accomplished what needed to be accomplished. Like you weren't going to get your high, like especially coming off Jordan versus Masha, like in a match of the night, match of the year type contender. But I think Lish gave it a good battle for what she could.
Yeah. I mean, there were some fun spots. She put Masha on top of the trash can, and it barely bent, and then she fell off of it. It looked pretty painful.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were moments like that. That was.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It was smart to have a stipulation, like adding the no DQ hardcore part of it, because then obviously you can get Kendra involved and all, which is a Lish staple. No, I thought it was a good way of booking it around that. And like I said, that's the one thing. Like I watch a lot of other wrestling there from time to time, and you don't get a lot of that. Like you get a lot of like, what's going on here? Why is this going on? Like you can see what's happening. Like you said to start it off, it moved. The show moved, and stuff like this is what helps it move because you're following what's going on. It makes sense. But no, great opener.
So, we get the attack from Masha. Jordan comes out, evens the odds. She's standing in the ring. Masha's standing in the ring with Jordan Grace, excuse me. And Jordan Grace doesn't give her the belt back right away. A little little friendly tug of war there. Alisha, what'd you think about that little moment between them? Were you kind of like, aha?
I don't understand why we're continuing this, but I guess, aha.
Do you think there's stipulated rematch?
Do you think there's something else going on here? Do you think there's?
But I don't know what.
Okay. So you think the friendliness is going to go out the window pretty soon? Is that what I think you're thinking?
Was the friends? I mean, I've complained about this in the past. The storyline is unclear because kayfabe, they aren't friends. They never were friends, but then they're suddenly friends because they're friends in real life. I don't know.
I think it's more a level of respect, but I get what you're saying.
I think Jordan's gonna like overstay her like friendliness.
Or we may get the heel Jordan that we've always wanted and never got.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes super friendly people can be heels.
Yeah. Because she wants to get that title back. Because she's not going anywhere, right? Right.
Never.
Wink.
Wink,
When I wink, I don't know if I did that.
Wink, wink. All right. Then we get the Rascals are backstage with Kushida. That was kind of nice to see. Talking about the match they're going to have next week at Turning Point. And that's going to be fun. That's, I feel like the Rascals are back in the good graces of the fans, especially with Kushida at their side. And he's back. And seeing them face the Hardys with Ace Austin, I think it's kind of like Masha and Jordan Grace, but it's more just exhibition of talent. I think you could look at it as. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way of looking at it, J-Bone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm getting that next week. And then we got Jody Threat, another knockouts match. I mean, we got a lot of knockouts represented in this show. It was knockouts heavy, and it was great to see. It really was. Just the depth. I mean, you get.
Well, you didn't even say why it was so great yet, J-Bone. Because it was so elegant.
Well, yeah, there was. Oh boy, yes. Oh, and Concierge.
Shout out to the personal concierge.
The concierge was there.
The personal concierge.
Yes. We had double the Elegance, double the Spitfire. It was just. I was going to go into the gum commercial. I can't because that would just sound creepy. Jody Threat versus Ash by Elegance. What you think?
Wow. Hey, anytime I get some elegance in my life, I'm happy. And I got plenty of elegance here. And Elegance got the win. Ash got the big win here. Definitely making you think future Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Elegance. Personal concierge carrying some belts. I'm digging it. Big fan of the gimmick. Enjoy the matches. I think for the Knockouts Tag Division, and Spitfire has done great with the belts. But you need to have people going after them. And as Mayor says, double the shenanigans.
Ooh.
I love some good shenanigans, and I enjoyed the shenanigans of Elegance. Like I said, from the get-go. It's very reminiscent of the Rick Martel model gimmick. And I think it's just the perfect, like, you need more of that. And that's just, maybe I'm just a product of my era. But the more I get of things like that, I enjoy. So seeing them getting into the title storyline here, I think that's a good way to approach it. So But no, and Jody, I'll tell you, like obviously Dani Luna is like a powerhouse, but Jody, is it me or is she just getting she's getting ripped? Like Jody's just looking like she's going to the Jordan Grace school of I'm just gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah,
So like Jody's looking like she's gonna like her and Jordan could be a tag team. But so kudos once again. I think it's just you see a lot of it, like with Moose, you see tons of people on this roster, even Mike Bailey before he left. Like a lot of people they're using their downtime to really they're getting into like the best shape of their careers, which is that just helps you obviously with everything.
Yeah.
So but yeah, you're seeing it. It's paying dividends. So and how about that? Like the first two matches, as you said, J-Bone, knockouts. Talk about hey, we're diving in our strengths. Because you go to other shows, maybe you'll get one an episode, but not for long. So the TNA, one of the things, the X division is probably the calling card of TNA from the get-go. But the Knockouts division, once that developed and took over, and you look at other companies like NXT, having the success they are right now, a lot of it is because they're women's division. And TNA has always had that, and they always lean into it. And even once again, when there's changes and some upheaval, they're going to find ways to do it again. And now Masha's at the top. Jordan obviously still here as one of the best in the world. But they're going to continue to add to that. So we're seeing it here to start the show, getting them right out in front, letting the viewers know on AXS and the TNA Plus app that we got the knockouts.
Now, I don't see this, but this gentleman obviously does. I'll put this up here. You guys can speak on it if you like. It says J-Bone. Jody, for some reason, reminds me of a young ODB back in TNA. What do you guys think? Do you see
her
it?
Mannerisms, maybe a little bit like that. She's wild in the ring. Like she runs out like a crazy person. And then she just her frantic nature. At least that's I could see that, but in ring, I don't see a ton of similarities there.
Right.
But at least I said, the demeanor just kind of coming out like a ball of fire.
Kind of unpredictable.
Yeah, unpredictable. Yeah, I could see. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the wild child.
She is. There you go. Okay. Yeah. I saw that. I was like, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. I want to see what you guys think of that. All right. So, but Ash by Elegance gets the win here. And dare I say, striking in the new gear and really, really came out guns a-blazing in this one. I mean, she had help. Let's be honest. She had some help. Heather Reckless.
What? You
didn't see the shenanigans, Bill? You were inches away from the action. You were inches away from the action. You didn't see the shenanigans, Bill?
All I saw was Elegance. That's all I saw.
Blinded.
Call it what you will, but it's a horse of a different color, J-Bone.
That's drinking the Kool-Aid, I believe is what they call it.
The champagne.
Champagne.
$8,000 bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
Get it right, J-Bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's class. Not first class, but it's class.
That's no, all right. But still an impressive win, and it reminds you that Ash by Elegance is not just a pretty face. She is dangerous.
Yeah. And the chat's pointing out, J-Bone, it's not Heather Reckless. There is no such thing as a Heather Reckless anymore.
I'm sorry. All
right.
Yes, the leather and the barbed wire and chains is all gone by the wayside. Yes. Sorry.
Well, leather sometimes there. Leather and lace.
Isn't that a song?
Yes. Jacked Up Jukebox, bring it back.
That's a classic. All right. Great Mike Santana promo. Of course, he gets interrupted by Kaz. But I gotta say, the more I listen to Mike Santana and they give him these opportunities to talk on the mic, he's on a path that I think is absolutely undeniable. What do you guys think?
Agreed.
Yeah, like the push of Mike Santana, you can see it. Like we've been saying it for a while. Like, and he's bringing it. He's knocking the promos out of the park. He's having the good matches. Like that guy, he's obviously in line. But as we know with Joe Hendry, like maybe he doesn't win the title, but he's getting his world title shot soon. But it does feel like he will win the title at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Critical Sting. Thank you for bringing this up. This was, dare I say, a bone of contention with the audience. Now, I didn't see any hiccups in the video and or audio. But we came back from commercial with this one, and then all of a sudden, as he starts the commercial, as he starts his promo, they went to a part of another commercial. They just had a commercial break.
Commercial to commercial.
And Mike Santana was already talking about how, different people are trying to hold him down and everything. And people were kind of, joking in the live reaction chat, like, oh, yeah, it looks like AXS TV is one of those trying to hold the man down. It's like, oh, hot take. But I mean, honestly, it's facts are facts. AXS TV.
You remember what the picture-in-picture was at the time? What was the ad for? What commercial was it?
I don't know, but like I said, when AXS TV had the flub, TNA Plus just went through, and like there was no hiccups. It just showed the show. So when people were talking about it, I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
What now?
So yeah, there's
got to pay the bills, J-Bone.
Well, that's the thing. They just had that. So
got some more bills.
Yeah, it went in the picture-in-picture during the Santana segment. And I'm like, oh, that's not cool. That's not cool. So,
all right,
AXS TV, you owe the man. And I hope they stop holding the man down.
Maybe it's a gimmick. Maybe that's part of it, man. Maybe it's the same people that put Frankie Kazarian in the main event as their special guest referee. We never got an answer on who that is.
I don't know. But man, crazy.
Hey, just a shout out, J-Bone. I just saw Aaron Jack pop in the chat out there in London, good old London, at 4:43 a.m. But wanted to stop by to support us, and I thank you very much, Aaron, and obviously wherever you're coming from, if it's a somewhat reasonable time of day or not, we definitely thank you if you're listening to this either video on the YouTube or the Twitch post or on audio. We appreciate you as well. But definitely a shout out to the loyal TNI peeps out there.
There you go.
Oh, and you know what? I believe it was Chris Van Vliet had an interview with Christian Cage, and as like I hear about support and stuff, I know Christian Cage at times gets accused of maybe not appreciating or going like really putting out his TNA tenure. Obviously, we know he's the guy that did drop the belt due to the whole Kenny Omega situation.
Yeah.
So I give him kudos for that. I thought that was a classy thing to do.
Yeah.
But I know he put over TNA in that recent interview. Like that he loved his time in TNA. But it's like he was, I think, turning whatever it was, 34, 35. So he had like one last shot to go back. So he went. But he's like, he has nothing bad to say about TNA, which is, I know there was always some like lingering things out there about maybe what he really thought of TNA at the time and all, which I think at the time we just know was a lot of fake wrestling news dirt sheets with agendas.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes more and more to say that's what it was the whole time. But yet people were listening to it because that's what was out there.
Right.
That's why we're out here today, J-Bo. We're not letting all the dirt get out there. We're cleaning it up. We're oxy cleaning this stuff. We're wiping on. We're wiping off. We're just giving you. We're giving you the straight. The straight.
No streaks here.
No streaks. If you have streaks on your screen, that's on you. Not me. Not the TNI crowd.
Streaks only during the after show. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So, Kaz, of course, the king of TNA.
No. He's no king, J-Bone.
He's self-proclaimed.
I don't see no crown.
Well, he's got a hell of a scarf.
That's all he's got.
He's got a gauntlet. But he interrupts Mike Santana here, and they're arguing, and then
official Little Silver gave me it was a Whisk commercial when they cut in the middle of the Mike Santana.
Oh, nice.
Whisk. Shout out to Whisk for message. So now we need Mike Santana to be like, Whisk, you're taking my time. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Never use Whisk. All right. But then someone interrupts Kaz, and that leads into our next match. We get Rhino. War Machine. Rhino. Yes. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. So then
Coke Zero.
Yes, Coke Zero. Gotta be Coke Zero. With a splash of orange Fanta. That's what I do lately.
Oh
yeah, I love
you,
me some
wild man.
Orange. Oh yeah, orange Coke. It's the way to go. Kaz versus the Gore Machine. Rhino.
Gore. Hall of Famer. TNA Hall of Famer.
Current Hall of Famer. Yes. So what did you think of Rhino versus Kaz?
Oh, well, you got two. And I'll give it. I know people are saying that, like, hey, Kaz is OG. I've always been a Frankie Kazarian fan from back in the day. I just got to razz him because, like, Eric Young should be king too, if we're going off of that thing. But Frankie, I still know what he did actually become the king here. There's plenty of TNA originals. So, but no, I thought it was good. Obviously, we knew with everything going on with Kaz, he would find his way to sneak out a victory here. But in the end, he still got the gore. So,
yeah,
Rhino's still the man. Oh yeah, and Bad Influence. Love Bad Influence. I got a Bad Influence shirt. I think it's tough. My favorite Frankie era is between Bad Influence and obviously Fortune. I think Fortune was a very underrated stable.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun, Fortune.
Fortune. Now remind me. Fortune was AJ Styles.
Yes.
It was captained or managed, if you will, from Flair. Correct.
Correct. It was the Flair era. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And he couldn't call it the Four Horsemen, of course.
Of course not.
But this was for it was a Four Horsemen-esque faction for the younger generation that was the, how do I say this? The ones that's the corner, I'll say the cornerstones of the TNA roster. The OGs, you know, the ones that have been there from like day one. It was James Storm?
James Storm.
James Storm, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, and Kazarian.
Kazarian, yes.
Is it those four, I believe?
It was mainly them. There were some other people that came and went, but they were the basis of it.
Okay. So, yeah, that was a good time. See, and that was one of those things, you know, people are like, oh no, the Hogan era was crap. No, man, there was some good stuff
in that era. Once again, these are people that just like to, and Christopher Dan there, like Desmond Wolfe had a run there too, and I was a big fan of the Desmond Wolfe era.
Right.
But yeah, no, there was a lot of good, and it's just like a lot of this one where people rip TNA during different time frames, but then look back at it and be like, oh, that was good, that was good, that was good. But it's just they really didn't like one or two angles that were going on at the time, and that, to them, then it's just all horrible.
Oh, of course. So, yeah, I want to say congratulations on, as Mayor says, on the nuptials to Armand here.
Oh.
I saw on his, I believe it's his Instagram or one of those socials. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, friend of the show. Congrats.
Yes. Congrats, man. We always celebrate love on here. So
it's nothing but love.
Wish you and your new bride all the well wishes and all the love, man. It's good stuff. Pardon me. So yeah, Kaz gets the win here, but Rhino gets the gore in the end. So
Rhino pop.
You're never gonna you're never gonna get away from that Rhino gore. He's gonna get you in the end. Now this was an interesting match here. You see certain matches get booked, and then of course, we as fans were armchair booking this as of course, kind of like Jordan Gray said, well, we know who's going to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting that we got Leon Slater and Laredo Kid.
Now, was this next or was the Macklin video next?
Oh, the I apologize. Macklin promo was next with EY. And dare I say, it was, I said this during the live reaction, promo of the year.
Cinema.
How they shot this and kept putting clips from what I'm guessing is PTSD moments past of Macklin, and then mix it with current.
Hey, we got somebody in the chat that might be able to give us some insight on this, and that is Kevin Martin in the chat. Kevin Martin, for all I knew, you may have filmed some of this. I'm guessing there's a good chance he definitely edited it. I would imagine part of this.
Yeah. What's up? Good to see you, Kev. Very excited for Turning Point.
But no, this was great. This was great. And I'm with you. I think this goes like this reminded me of some of the promos we've seen, like some of the videos. Like I think you're right. Like I feel like, and there's been good promos and video work, but this is up there with some of the best stuff they've done in the Anthem era. I think this is that good. This package. I think this goes like an EY, obviously another guy. Like when we were seeing the Violent by Design stuff, which is very good, but like it goes there with some of the stuff that was out in the woods, the stuff with like early Lish kind of stuff. This was fantastic. And it's like, this is a deeper one. This isn't like your typical just wrestling storyline. Like this is obviously, we know Macklin, like he's a Marine, like and like getting into like the PTSD type stuff that's out there. Like they're touching on subjects that you don't really see in wrestling a lot.
Right.
So I think that's like kind of giving a different angle on this and actually just giving attention to it. I'm sure that's something that Steve probably wanted to put out there. But I thought they did a great job with this. And obviously EY is great at this. Like, so a way to utilize it, because we kind of been seeing them in this angle together, but now doing it through this really kind of adds something.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing because obviously
I think that was supposed to be.
Right. Well, we know that Macklin has, like you said, he's got the military past. Something's bothering him. Something's throwing him off course from his past. Like he can't get, for example, when he's thrown into a team situation and something's stopping him from, for pardon the pun, pulling the trigger on getting involved in a team situation. Something happened to him. I think that's what the root of this is. Something happened to him in his military past, his military career, that causes him to react a certain way in team situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like a level of guilt in there or something happened to him, something specific. And this we'll just say relationship with EY's like checking on him. I feel like EY's checking on him, but something about EY is triggering this.
Oh,
and so Macklin's taking himself out of the situation to try to deal with this, cope with this, sort it out. But then EY keeps showing up. So I don't know where.
Yeah, that's Kevin says you're reading in between the lines.
I've seen a lot of war movies, man. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible storytelling. And it's a deep dive. I mean, and look, don't get me wrong. I love the matches. And I love the backstage, dare I say, politics that they show that starts something. Starts a feud, an interview, something. But this, yeah, full Metal Jacket, a classic. Yeah, exactly.
Private Pile.
I haven't seen that one, but there's a list of movies that I've
You haven't seen Full Metal Jacket?
No, I might have, but it's like the movie's so old. If I did see it, I don't remember it. I just
Jade
recently,
in his movies.
saw saving
Private Ryan?
I was almost going to say Saving Lieutenant Dan. No, Saving Private Ryan. Right. No, that's a joke. That's we're going after Lieutenant Dan, guys. No, I'm kidding.
At least
No,
you saw Forrest Gump.
Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite war movies. It's just wow. Especially that first part showing the storming the beach in Normandy is just it's literally breathtaking. There's parts that you're just like you can't believe what you're seeing, and I think Macklin went through some of that, and I don't know how deep they're gonna go with this, but I can't wait. I'm very excited that they're doing this. It shows the great minds, the creativity behind TNA, that they're not just, oh, well, I don't like you. Well, I don't like you. And honestly, that's a lot of times, that's all you need for a rivalry, just, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
There you go. Now, as Kevin says, Macklin will have to overcome himself to trust, it seems, which is true. And
this is like one of those, onions you get in the restaurant.
The layers,
peel them back.
Well, yeah, because as Critical Sting says, can Steve really trust EY considering he did with VBD and being the world-class maniac who beat an amputee veteran with his own prosthetic leg, by the way? Shout out Chris Melendez.
Oh my gosh, that's some history there.
Sarge.
Yeah. So yeah, this is incredible stuff. I was really, for lack of better words, stunned by it. It's like just when you think you're like, oh, it's about this, and then you see like it twist and turn a certain way, and you see the part where EY, it's not EY, but it's EY interviewing Macklin, and Macklin's giving these yes/no answers, and you get like almost pause it for a second, be like, think about it, go back and watch it again. That's what I'm gonna do. It's just wild. It's just wild.
It is wild. But good, great segment. Great segment.
Best part of the whole episode. Period.
I'm with you, J-Bo. Kudos to everybody involved.
Yeah. So.
Yes, and as Kev says, I'm sure you all noticed the incorporation of EY's past as well in this.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to notice it.
Oh, it showed.
There was references to all the different versions of EY.
Like this, like it showed them in the mask and stuff, which I think also triggered part of the military stuff, because it looks like heavy metal, so so yeah, all very intriguing. I can't wait to see where it goes.
But now we go to X Division.
Yeah,
now you're on there.
Yeah, Leon Slater and Laredo Kid versus the Systems Moose and JDC.
Your X Division champion, Moose?
Yes. X Division champion, Moose. And JDC, who has proven himself to become a strong part of this, the system. Man, I did not see this happening.
You're surprised?
I was, but go ahead, Bill. What do you think of this?
Well, I'm definitely liking the state of the X Division right now, but I know the surprise obviously was that we saw the system lose here via pinfall.
Right.
Now it was it wound up being Leon Slater pinning JDC in the end there. So like Moose did not take the pin, but his team did take the loss, which maybe you'll see when Moose isn't in singles X Division action. If he's in tag team action, that might be how some future X Division opponents might be entered into the equation.
Yeah.
Because once we get into Turning Point, we know the X Division title match has been made. But it was a surprise. Like, obviously, if Moose gets pinned in any of these, I'll be shocked. If Moose took the pin, then I would be shocked. Mild surprise. But
we'll see, and that's the thing.
You got to get opponents.
Well, yeah, you do. And he's got to defend it. So,
yeah.
But that's the
He's going to be a fighting champion. He's Moose.
But then JDC took the pin. But it was Leon Slater that beat the team.
It was Leon Slater. So like put that in your little book, Leon Slater. Right. Who we saw have a great match with Mike Bailey when he was champion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that guy's got to get another shot at this.
Right.
So who knows?
So
but not yet.
So here's the question, Bill. Why is it now? I know I said we're going to discuss this.
We're not discussing it again later, J-Bone.
At the end. Well,
if you get it now. That's it.
Well, yeah. We're doing the brief overrun of the Turning Point card later. But why is it Laredo Kid versus Moose and not Leon Slater when Leon Slater got the win on that team?
It's a good question, J-Bone. I don't know this. I'm going to go logistical answer on this. Is Leon Slater not booked for WrestleCade or that weekend? And Laredo Kid is. And he still was on the team. Like Laredo Kid, if you're telling me Leon Slater is in South Carolina next week and it's not him, then my guess is Leon gets the title shot at Final Resolution. He's got to go through his partner first.
Okay. I don't accept that, but I don't have any choice but to accept it.
Because I think normally you're right. That's how it would play out. But I have a feeling, because Leon Slater still does a ton of shows in the UK and in Europe. I have a feeling he just was not available. So I think that may have been pushed.
Okay. This is an interesting take right here. Armand says, I figure Moose gets an easy win over Laredo, and then they drag out a Slater feud and save Slater for Genesis.
There you go.
It's not a bad concept, but I dare say that
maybe they save it for Genesis. They could.
I dare say that Laredo Kid is not going to be an easy win.
No, I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans.
No, I'm just saying. Moose is look at how hard Moose had to work with Bailey. Moose almost has to reconstruct how he's doing stuff in the ring to manage these matches against X Division opponents.
There's no limits, J-Bo.
He's not going against, say, a bigger opponent like Samoa Joe. He's not going against a Hammerstone. He is facing guys half his size, but twice as fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that these matches are really going to be something. Okay, I see Alisha is back with us. Hello.
Ahoy.
Hello.
I wanted to get your thoughts real quick before we continue because you were gone for a couple of just talking points. What did you think of the Macklin promo?
I thought it was very interesting. Good direction they're going with it. Again, I'm a big fan of cinematic stuff, and so I thought it was very well done and little character build for him, which is necessary. So,
Right.
yeah, it was great.
Right. It's not just the simple, like I said before, it's not just the simple, well, I don't like you. Well, I don't like you. Well, let's have a match. Great. That's how it is, 75% of the time in wrestling. You don't have to do much. But this is really drawing from past experiences and then mixing it up with his relationship, or dare I say, feud he has with EY. I think there's a big tug of war going on here, so. And then what did you think of Leon Slater getting the win over JDC in that tag match after that?
I'm brain farting. What?
Moose and JDC took
Oh,
on...
yeah, I missed that. I'm sorry, I missed that match.
Okay, all right.
My bad.
Please go back and watch it. It was amazing.
I will.
Especially
I'm sure it was.
The Leon Slater dive over the top rope on top, or he dove over the corner turnbuckle on top of Moose.
Yeah.
That's one of his go-tos.
Unbelievable. Anyone that does that, it just blows my mind. Joe Hendry with a promo next. He still believes, even though his path has been deterred, that he is still going to be in line soon and will earn that world title shot.
I'm glad he believes in himself. That's important.
That is important, but let me ask you guys, do you guys still believe, or do you think the ship has already sailed on Joe Hendry?
That's wild, J-Bo. You can't say things
I'm
like
not
that.
saying that. I'm not saying that's what I think, but I want to get your. I'm just, he still comes out
believe.
and I believe. So, do you guys still believe?
If you
Yeah,
are
sure,
a believer, you're still a believer. If you aren't a believer, you might have reasons to feel stronger in not believing, or believing he might be a little heelish.
Well, I believe that's always been the underlying factor with Mr. Joe Hendry. So,
Homewrecker,
Oh, wait. We're going to take a brief pause for the Ryan Nemeth story, director's cut. Ready, J-Bone?
Oh boy.
Yes.
Exclusive here on TNI. He's Nick Nemeth's brother. The end.
I love it.
What did poor Ryan Nemeth do?
He got in the mix. He got in the mix.
Don't get in the mix. Unless you're JBL. Because JBL, I feel like it's going to be like a year before we know what JBL's up to.
Oh, see,
Or at least be next year.
The JBL thing's got to get done soon.
If it's not done in Texas,
I don't mean
giving up on
finished. I don't mean finished. I mean,
Right.
they need something.
We need an
needs to
answer.
be,
Yeah.
We need an answer on JBL in Texas. I'll give it to the live show. Like, if it doesn't happen at Genesis and if it happens at the live show, so be it. If not, but I know that's kind of what he's doing all at like a ton of promotions right now. But that's been too many key moments around the main event and the world title that it's got to be answered by then. You can't stretch it out longer than that. Then you're wearing thin.
right.
Because I saw it last night. Like you start with something and you see it wearing thin, and you see it, it's like a car crash. You're like, ooh, you went too far. Ooh, you stretched it out too long, and now no one's going to care. So that's
that Bonkers here. Good to see you, Bonkers.
Oh.
And that's a strong take. And this was kind of like my take for a while. You know,
that's a lot of people have that take.
I believe in Kaz will win before Hendry.
I believe he will not.
Which if Kaz does eventually win, remember he's got that cup.
He's got a cup, all right.
That cup's like the briefcase. He can cash it in whenever he wants.
He can, but Nick Nemeth will be a full heel. I think most people saw that going, well, Joe's going to have to be the heel, not a face. That's going to have to be how Joe wins. But Nick's going to be a heel by the time he beats him.
Okay. But Nick Nemeth still believes in Joe. But...
Well, Kevin Martin's even asking, Hendry's climb to the top. Do you guys believe this time he'll get it? He has to get it. If he doesn't get it this time, then I will agree. The believers, cue up the journey, J-Bone. Because they're gonna stop believing. They're gonna stop believing.
It is a great journey. I don't know. Nick Nemeth in the end, like he said in that next promo, he's gonna steal the show against Eddie Edwards.
I believe it.
Just like it steals your girlfriend. Next, more knockouts action. So excited about this. This
Third
was
match of the night.
This was a pleasant surprise because I didn't see this one advertised. Maybe they said it last week, but it wasn't something they made a promo for. So I was thinking, oh, okay. They said it earlier in the night. So it's going to be local talent, like a warm-up. Just to, get her back on TV, which I'm fine with. That's fine. Show the world how hungry Savannah Evans is. And they did.
She is a cannibal.
She is, yeah. I don't know if they called her that, but she was snarling like one. I mean, she looked pretty ferocious, pretty scary. What did you guys think of Savannah Evans versus Brittany Jade?
I unfortunately missed this one too.
Well, it was.
Were you having lots of problems with your cat?
He's not doing well. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not Valentino.
Yeah, Valentino's having a rough time. He's got a vet appointment tomorrow, but.
All right.
Okay. Well, best wishes.
Get
for
better, Valentino.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
But it was good to see. Friend of the show, Savannah Evans, back. Obviously, have not seen her since the end of the Shawterage. So, and she is a Carolina native. So, obviously, as they are back in Carolina here, and obviously through WrestleCade and stuff like that, it's good to see. Good time to return, because I think we'll start seeing some of these faces that we know have been there, but not being used. Like the end of the year into the new year, good time to kind of get stuff reset, start up. So
reshuffle the deck.
Yeah. So no, good to see. And we've talked about, obviously, we mentioned it with Havoc. Like they needed some more bigger, like monster type heels to kind of come into that division. That's been missing. So having Savannah now being there, that's a nice addition, because they needed somebody that could like tower over some of the knockouts and being like, hey, I'm gonna whoop you. So
right.
I think there's some room for that. That's something that I think a lot of companies are getting away from it for whatever reason, but that's tried and true. The monster heel, and I think in a knockouts division like this, that's a good thing to have. So
Right.
hopefully they have a couple more. I'm always in favor of having multiple.
Right. Sometimes it's good to have those kind of matches, and it gives the individual in the ring who you're trying to promote a chance to work on themselves, without having a 20-minute match. Like I said, keep it simple. You're hungry. You haven't been featured in a while. You're pissed off. Give me someone to take it out on. Boom. Period. And that's what I'm kind of also reacting to Bonkers here. He says, why is she having jobbers matches? Well, she's been gone for a while. She's been gone.
Oh, yeah.
So this is reintroducing her,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new fans, I think, recently that have put their eyes on TNA because of the NXT stuff, the brand just growing by, organically. So, she hasn't been on there for a while. It's a reintroduction. She's a monster. Period. So.
Period.
Okay. There's your soundbite. So.
I was doing more of the Monty Brown period, but
okay.
we'll go Tasha too.
But yeah, so Savannah Evans beats Brittany Jade. Then we get backstage, Masha.
Masha.
She's just gazing at that title. Gazing at it like, wow, look at that thing. There's just sparkles. Jordan Grace walks up. And they're like, well, we got to make this special.
Ooh.
So how do we make this special?
I like this.
Masha says, you know what? And I thought Masha at first was going to say something to the effect of, let's throw Tasha Steelz in the mix. I just had a feeling, well, because she interfered earlier. So it's right. How many times before has somebody else interfered and boom, they get thrown in the match because, now it's a power struggle between not 2, but 3,
Fair enough.
But we didn't get that. We got Masha saying, let's make it 2 out of 3 falls. So what do you guys think about, by the way, hello, friend of the show, Daniel Spencer.
Daniel Spencer.
Good evening. Hope you are
Senior
well.
official.
And, but yeah, what do you guys think about the new, it's a gimmick, but it's not a gimmick. It's not like, we're going to throw chairs in this match. No, it's not one of those gimmicks. But it's,
now, hey, the first thing that means, they're giving that match time. 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
for sure.
And
this is true.
And for my own personal sake, why do I love 2 out of 3 falls? One of the worst chants in wrestling. Well, not even a chant. The 1 fall. But Jade does a good job of not allowing the space for the 1 fall a lot of the time. Penzer would do that great too. And since I see Daniel Spencer in the chat, I have a feeling David
I was like,
Penzer.
what are you talking about? You're talking about what the audience says. One fall. You're talking about that.
Yeah, because there was a certain contingent in wrestling that did that, and then it got adopted everywhere. And now it's just overdone. Like anything in wrestling that gets overdone it loses it. So 2 out of 3 falls. Now, if you want to do that, I'm on board because you don't get them that often. Love myself at 2 out of 3 falls. So yeah, but I love the ring announcers. If you want to be on my ring announcer good side, just you go through it because you just can't have the pause. It's like the what chant for ring announcers,
right?
And the what chant is the most disrespectful thing in current wrestling landscape because what they're saying is you can't cut a promo by saying what. And by saying one fall, they're saying ring announcer, you're leaving a pregnant pause. Do better.
Right. And I was trying to think. It was like, gosh, we've watched how many years and how many matches and shows and wrestling. Wasn't that originally adapted because like there were so many, like it was a big European contingent?
It was from the UK. Yeah, it was from Europe. Yeah, it was from the UK.
It was when it was during like
that had been going on
like
for
Mania
years
weekend. Like
Yeah,
Mania weekend.
And then then you would see it travel in a little bit, but then it just went too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as like Fight Forever, which is the worst chant in wrestling, or both these guys.
Oh, come on.
Maybe on a retirement match, I'll allow it.
Oh, okay.
But we'll leave out the
special.
Thank you, Daniel Spencer.
Bill with the slow clap for Daniel Spencer. I hate the one fall chant.
It's on my list.
Yeah. Okay. Matthew Smith, or the crowd just has bad hearing.
If only.
What?
It would be a reason, but it is not. But like I said, it can be dealt with.
Right.
It's on the ring announcer to deal with it.
Yeah. Keep it smooth. Keep it steady. But that leads us to our main event. Jake Something, Hammerstone, and Trent 7 versus Ace Austin and the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Very interesting match here. What did you guys think about this main event? This was a little surprising.
What was more surprising, J-Bone? Were you more surprised at this end, or were you more surprised at the system losing earlier tonight? Because this I was surprised by. Because you got to also remember, you're smack dab in the middle of Hardy country.
Right.
For this match. And before I get too far into it, Daniel Spencer making some comments there, and he's very observant. That's why he's the senior official at TNA Wrestling, because he sees things.
He sees.
He's noticing the little differences. It's like we just brought a foreign object into the ring, J-Bone, and he's calling us out on it. Because we are on a new platform tonight for the first time. And I know Daniel Spencer's also a podcaster.
Yes.
And so I'm sure he's kind of seen the same things, but obviously there was a big change with one of the big platforms recently of a very high price hike in the business. For really no valid reason. So we have gone to another provider, which is very similar, as you see, but we're still kind of working into our system here, how we will incorporate some of it going forward. But yes, that is some of the slight differences that you are seeing tonight on the TNI show, but hopefully in the long run, better for the program. So.
I think it will be.
Very observant, as a good official would be. But now, very surprising main event in Hardy country that this did not work out for Ace Austin and the Hardys. And I saw Matt Hardy comment the first time ever that he has worn face paint in TNA, which I'm like, I guess that's right. But it's surprising that he never has. And obviously Ace as well, which was very cool to see. It was like It was like Kiss was in the ring. And there was no Kiss demon to be found, but it was
Right.
So this is interesting. Like, obviously, like with Hammerstone and Jake, and we've been liking what they've been doing as a tag team. We saw kind of Trent 7 there turn on Mike Bailey and what was going to come of that. And then we saw them kind of like, but this team up, like that's a big win they got. So it's going to be real interesting to see what's going to go forward now. But that's a huge win. Like I was shocked by this. This definitely was a surprise to me. Like if I thought one thing, I'd be like, oh, the Hardys, they're winning in North Carolina. They did not.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, just to jump back to the Restream. Restream is a lot of different bells and whistles. They've got a Black Friday promotion going on right now, where if you pay for a year in advance,
It's a good deal.
You get 50% off.
Half off.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing.
I think we'll be around in a year.
I didn't take advantage of that. I just took advantage of the lowest tier of pay, and it adds up to approximately $20 a month. So even that is less than half of what I'm paying with StreamYard. So, and it still has all the bells and whistles I need, with the exception of a couple things. You know, we might have to cut out a couple things here and there.
No, we do nothing. We just do it a cappella.
You may not see as many bites. We're working on intros and outros. But in the long
we can always
run,
bring it back.
I
believe
like
in Joe Hendry. No difference.
Yeah. We all clap. But yeah, so I certainly invite those of you who have been using StreamYard, check out your other options. So,
yes.
But yeah, main event.
We're all not in first class like AJ.
Right.
Like AJ, he can do whatever he wants, but us, we're just common folks here at the TNI show. We're humble.
We're not
humble.
We're not low class, but we are hardworking. Yeah.
We're not first class. We're economy.
I did like that. I'm not sure where Trent 7 is going to fit into this, but I do like the fact that Jake Something and Hammerstone being a part of this team with Trent 7 got the win here.
Yeah, like that. Maybe they're getting the next tag title shot in the future,
which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a long time since you've seen, like, you see so many, just for lack of better words, high flying tag teams. Mm-hmm. And, or ones that, they just zip around the ring and they get it all done and boom, 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 the combos and everything. And that's not a knock on the teams like Motor City Machine Guns, Rascals, and such like that. I love them. But I'm old school. Give me some big, badass, beefy guys. I was like, that's what I called it. I might call it Team Beefcake. It's like getting it done.
I just want like weekly segments of them, either like in the gym or just like backstage, just like lifting people up, lifting random objects, just being like bench it.
Yeah. Bros.
It's like, spot me, bro. Like you're right. Like almost take like the bromans a little bit, but like add just like the workout warriors guys and just go all in on that. I think everyone would eat that up. I think that would just be great.
Just no oil.
Like have them do like a cheat day segment where like they just go get some cookies. Like they could go crazy.
Pancakes. Stack of pancakes.
There you go.
This big.
A lot of potential. A lot of you could do somewhat comedy, somewhat serious with them. Right. But no, I think that would be a good use of the team. But that's a huge win there. Like I said, this was a surprise.
Yeah. So yeah. Did you see the end of the show, Alisha?
Not the very end, but just the match.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no bumper this week. No,
Yeah,
No,
no.
credits.
yeah. The show was, or the match was it. That was the end of the show.
But
Okay.
there was an ending because they didn't stop the attack at the end.
Right.
So we did see some other people jump in the ring, J-Bone.
Well, yes. The because it's the ones that are getting involved in the main event of Turning Point. The Rascals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Kushida. Yeah.
Kushida.
So Mayor asking the hard-hitting questions. Bone Man, how did you get Bill's head on Jeff's body? That's
No. And you're on Matt's body. But not when you have a comment. There you go. Now you're there. So now you got to delete. Wonderful.
Wonderful. So that is the show. Some really
Great show.
really good stuff here. I mean, the matches are great. Don't get me wrong. But as far as character development, the stuff with EY and especially Macklin, chef's kiss.
Segment of the year.
It truly is segment of the year because it's building to whatever's next. And for once, I'm not going to sit here and, we know where this is going. No, you know what? I don't, but I'm loving this because it's a deep dive, and give it to me because it's, like I said, it's going to be some of the greatest stuff of the year. So it's amazing. I think we all dig Macklin, and we want to see him back on top someday, and I think this is going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Long-term storytelling. Give it to me. So, hell yeah. So, any last thoughts, crew?
There we go. No, I thought the show moved. It was a lot, like I said, some great character work, and that's what you want to see. But then the knockouts heavily featured was welcome. And some surprises, a couple matches you didn't see that coming. So, and obviously the return of Savannah was good to see. So I thought they accomplished a lot tonight. So heading in the turning point, like we know next week's a little bit of a different episode. Obviously, we'll have some featured bouts and all on Thanksgiving. But then there's and we know it will roll in, obviously, to as we get into the end of the year here. But a lot of things going on. Good stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know when we're going to cover Turning Point, but you may see us on Thanksgiving, or maybe some of us.
You may. We'll see.
We'll see.
It could happen.
Because I don't know who's. I don't want to assume.
I won't be home,
but then I'm going to say it's going to be half of a food review.
Yeah.
I'm coming in hot with some mashed potatoes and gravy and some stuffing and maybe a turkey leg.
Amazing. So we'll see what we have, and I wanted
and
to
some
give
pumpkin pie.
I wanted to give Alisha just a chance because she missed a portion of the show. Any last thoughts on the show?
No, I would have said something if I did. You don't gotta ask me.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure,
I feel like I'm pretty to the point a lot of the times.
No, you are, but
when I got shit to say, I'm gonna say it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. All right.
You guys did a good job covering the show. When I was petting my poorly cat.
Yes. Valentino, get better.
Well. Yes, absolutely. So this is a new chapter in TNI, and we hope you all come along for it. It's not going to be without a little air here and there. It's not going to be perfect. This is the training wheels part of it. But in a long run, I think it's going to be wonderful. So
it will be
very excited to use Restream. And Yeah,
Bitchin'.
it is. I love it. So thanks all. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notification. As always, go check out all the descriptions in the bottom of the video, including Manscaped and the Chris Bay link. And we'll see you sometime next week for the holidays. Not sure exactly when, but nonetheless, stay safe.